Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session on evolving cybersecurity careers in the age of AI, big data, mobility, and social media. My name is Sarba Roy, and on behalf of the VSys Oregon affiliate, I welcome you all to this session, and I really hope that you enjoy the session. Now, before we get started with the session, let me give you an insight about who we are as VSys Oregon affiliate. So, our primary mission is to be a community of engagement, encouragement, and support for women in cybersecurity based in Oregon. So, we have really amazing members and allies who are united with this mission of empowering more and more women in cybersecurity. And what we try to do as our focus is to empower members with networking and learning opportunities through a wide range of insightful sessions, panel discussions, meetups on a range of exciting themes in cybersecurity. So here you can see a sample of the events that we have planned this year. And I will share about our contact details towards the end of the presentation. And we really look forward to your collaboration and participation in our events this year. Now, on that note, let's get started. So, in today's presentation, I will touch upon the universe called Internet of Everything. Now, we know that we do have a physical universe which is very mysterious and it is full of exciting and enigmatic things. But right now, in a digital landscape, we are also surrounded by millions and billions of interconnected devices, and this is our universe of Internet of Everything. Now, when everything is connected, right from humans to the simplest of machines, then that also gives rise to infinite challenges, which has led to the global security pandemic. Yes, you heard it right. It is a parallel pandemic which is as dangerous, as unpredictable as the COVID 19 pandemic, which is happening in our digital landscape. And I will help you uh, provide some insights into this pandemic. Now, once there is a challenge, their human resilience or the spirit of strength in humans is so strong that we are conditioned to, stand up against any difficulty or challenge, no matter how impossible it might seem to be. And in this global security pandemic, also, we have the rise of the next generation digital defenders, and those are the people I will be speaking about today and the roles that they will play in the security landscape. And then together, let's also mule or think about our hopes for the future. So, on that note, here you can see there's a timeline of cyber era. So most of us, we have grown with the internet. The internet is like our friend, our long lost friend who has grown up with us. And initially, almost 20 years back, if you might imagine, it was like the internet of content, where the World Wide Web was just a network of computers who were exchanging information. And the focus then was on vulnerability management or protecting the systems. Then that actually gave rise to the Internet of Services, where the users were not just satisfied with static content. They wanted to get information on the go. They wanted the web to interact dynamically with them. So that gave rise to the Internet of Services, which led to the threat management. So Back then it was not just enough to protect your security landscape, but also to stay updated to detect any possible threat that was going to affect your systems adversely. And then came the most exciting part, which was the internet of people. So with the rise of social media and mobility, internet was not just limited to devices. It was not just a technology that only the most, technically adept people had. It reached the common masses and it became the internet of people. And that is where it was not just enough to protect and detect the threats, but it was very important to respond to it as quickly as possible. So there were data breaches, there were a lot of other things which were happening, which the world hadn't seen before. And then right now we are in the most exciting phase of this rise of internet, where we are in the internet of everything. So right from my Alexa device to my Google Home device to my refrigerator to my smartwatch to my mobile phone, everything is connected. And this is the time when uh, we have to give way to the intelligent cybersecurity management, where it's not just enough to protect, detect, and respond to the threats, but it's also important to gain understanding out of it and to predict the future threats. So, on that note, the Internet of Everything, as I mentioned to you, is a billion of almost 20 to 30 billion interconnected devices which are powered by AI. Can you think of the magnitude? Isn't it amazing to just imagine the processing power that these devices have right now? And on that, according to IBM, there are almost 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. Now, I can't even go to count the number of zeros which are there because it's just huge. But on the if we uh, become a devil's advocate and think it from a different perspective, then this rise of interconnected devices has also led to a huge attack surface, which is the favorite playground of cyber criminals. So according to Cisco, by 2021, which is now, cybercrime will represent almost $6 trillion cost on an yearly basis, which is 50% more than what it was in 2015. I mean, uh, that is unthinkable, but it is true. And this increased attack surface and sophisticated attack techniques have led to something called as the global security pandemic. Now, according to Verizon data breach investigation report from the 2020, so 86% of the data breaches were financially motivated. People are going to always be motivated by money when they are lured into performing a crime. This is human psychology. But what's also scary is that 43% of these data breaches were on web applications, which was almost double the results from last year. And 27% of these data breaches were due to malwares. So, I mean, if you take a moment to also analyze or just assimilate this information, this means that whatever um, data that is out there today linked to us, which is almost everything, so that has the potential to be stolen by cyber criminals. And this is scary, and this is the part of the pandemic that we are all living in, the global security pandemic. Now, I'll take a moment to also give you a visualization of how these data breaches look like. Because there are a few web tools around the world that are helping you visualize this global security pandemic. So I'll just take a moment to. So right now, if you see, this is the world's biggest data breaches, which is huge. The number is just huge. It has almost all the major corporations, all the major citizens around the world, everyone has experienced a data breach at some point of time. And this is actually a good representation of the volume. The other way would like you to see is the global distributed denial of service. So if you see, this is a representation of the denial of service attacks which are happening every day. And then let me take you to the live cyber threat map which is happening. And this is just a representation of what are the basically the malware, phishing, and exploits that are being launched across geographies. And this will also give you a perspective of what are the different vulnerabilities that attackers are exploiting to for their malicious intent. So now that we have looked into the different visualization of the global security pandemic, let's now also see how cybersecurity will be affected by AI, social media, mobility, and big data. Now, AI, along with being a attack surface, it will also be a powerful tool in threat intelligence, along with behavioral analytics for predicting future attacks. So, AI is our friend, as well as it is um, also going to be leveraged by attackers to increase the sophistication of their attacks. Social media is a very tricky space because with remote working now, a lot of social media accounts will be targeted by criminals using social engineering attacks and identity thefts. So that's risk that we have. Then mobility, with the huge number of endpoint devices that we all have, the volume of malwares will continue to grow, targeting these endpoint devices. And then we have big data. So data privacy will be on the forefront, and rightly so, because now major corporations, they're just mining on our data. And we there has to be certain regulation that stops them, or that at least checks on them for this. So these are the four perspectives of looking at cybersecurity from a technology standpoint. Now, where do we go next? Do we just sit down and give up on everything and just say, yeah, I mean, cybersecurity attacks are there. Let's pull up our blankets and go to a nice sleep? No, that is now not how it is, and that shouldn't be how it is. So, with increased number of cybersecurity attacks, with the increased sophistication, there will be the rise of the next generation of digital defenders. Now, let's see who they are and what they'll do. Now, digital defenders, who are they? These are basically skilled cybersecurity professionals like you, me, across different experience levels, who will combat against highly complex attacks from cybercriminals in this rapidly evolving IoT universe powered by AI, big data, mobility, and social media. And what are the qualities they should have? So they are the ambassadors of security. They are the people who keep learning on the latest trends, breaches, attack techniques, and even in their sleep. And by this, I mean that it doesn't have to be, you do not have to be a qualified cybersecurity professional to be a security ambassador. If you have this intent of protecting yourself and your communities from cyber attacks, then you qualify to be a security ambassador. And right now, there are so many open source learning opportunities, free opportunities which are out there. So you can upskill yourself very well in learning more about attack techniques and also preventing yourself and your communities from this. Now, other thing is they have to be collaborators and messengers. No, gone are those days when you would be amazing in what you would do, and that would be the end of the world. Given the rise of complexity and volume of cyber attacks, it is very important for cyber enthusiasts, for the digital defenders to collaborate with each other, to learn from each other. And now, with the COVID 19 pandemic, with everything gone virtual, this is actually a blessing because now there are no physical boundaries that can stop you from connecting with people around the world. So they have to be collaborators and messengers. And the most important and interesting part is being a creative problem solver. Now, in my career in cybersecurity for almost 8 years, I can vouch for the fact that I have never had a single dull day in my life, because every day there's something new to learn, something new to that challenges me, something that I try to discover through my mistakes, and there's so much to learn. So, if a person is thinking out of the box, if they are looking for solutions, then they have all the qualities to be a digital defender. Now, how do you find your career pathway as a digital defender? Now, this is a very good visual which has been provided by CompTIA. And here, I mean, there are different ways in which you can actually build your career in cybersecurity. It doesn't have to be something that someone has done and they have become amazing at it. Yes, that's great. But when you are looking at your own career in cybersecurity, you have to look at whether you like investigating things, whether you like having a strategic standpoint and being a generalist in different domains of cybersecurity. Do you like to protect and defend instead? Do you like to provision? Do you like to analyze? Do you like to collect and operate? So there are so many broad pathways that are there out there, and depending on the things that you like, you should then venture into that direction and then pursue a career of your choice. Because ultimately, I mean, cybersecurity, for example, let me give you an my own pathway example. Now, I'm someone who loves, who started off as a defender. So I was more into vulnerability assessment and management. I loved doing it. I loved running vulnerability assessments, analyzing the threats, supporting the teams with patch management and so on. But then slowly I also started moving from this domain to the cybersecurity strategic planning and policy, where which I'm really enthusiastic about now. So there are, in short, there are no golden rules here. These are the different pathways. Select at least one that you love the most. Spend your time, learn more, do different things, get a lot of hands-on experience. And once you've had that, you can either progress in that path, or you can also choose to explore the other paths. So it's a very exciting path out there in different domains. So just try your best in all of them and just see which one you love the most. Now, I'll also touch a little bit upon the present generation InfoSec roles. So there are, at a beginner level, you have specialized positions like penetration tester, security analyst, ethical hacker. So this list is not exhaustive. This is just a sample of the different InfoSec roles that are available right now or that are most in demand. But what I want to tell you here is that in the next generation, as a digital defender, it is not just enough if you know penetration testing about web applications and then you refuse to learn anything else. So as a next generation digital defender, irrespective of which level of experience you have, it's very important for you to spread your mind and to learn about the new and emerging technologies. So these are some of the roles that I will discuss today, which are the cloud security experts, the threat hunters, the digital forensic specialists, incident responders, anti-malware experts, and data privacy officers. So now let's see what these next generation digital defenders will do. So first is the cloud security experts. So these are the people who will analyze and implement security requirements for cloud implementation and integration. When you think of cloud, I mean, I used to think of it as some, very distant computer in some part of the world that was processing my data. So it is exactly a little bit that. It's just that it has become much more powerful, much more efficient, much more reliable in its capabilities. And that's why it's very important for us as digital defenders to also ensure the security of the cloud. Now, this role is very versatile. It is very technical. At the same time, it will also require a range of skills. So, the person has to know a little bit about public cloud environment. They have to know about IT security solutions. They have to know about cloud security capabilities. And what will they do? So they will play a pivotal role in the cloud security governance, risk assessment, and management, as well as the operational security capabilities or activities. And where they can work right now, most of the most of the major corporations around the world are moving to the cloud. And when once they're doing that, they need security experts who can guide them on the right regulations, on the right practices. So this role, for this role, sky's the limit. And if you're passionate about cloud, if you're passionate about information security, this could be an excellent career path for you as a digital defender. And I have also mentioned some of the certifications here. You can take a look at it. It's like the CCSK, CCSP. So you can just explore them and see if you would like to formalize your learning through these certifications. Next is threat hunters. Now, we as human race, we grew from our ancestors who were hunters. So they would run around the forest all throughout the day to gather food to be consumed. Now, in today's world, threat hunters are such skilled people who identify advanced threats and then track and mitigate them before the organizational IT systems are attacked. So by this, what I mean is, before an attack happens, these are the people who look at it, who think, well, maybe this could be an attack. They they are the people who uh, organize and analyze the collected data and trends to help their organization predict future threats and also to adopt mitigation techniques that prevent such threats. So, what you should know for this? I think it's very important if you know a little bit about data science, because it will need your analytical ability. At the same time, you should have an understanding of the tools of the trade, like firewall logs, intrusion detection systems, the systems from where you'll actually collect these data that will help you analyze and predict the threats. So there are, different certifications also for this, and I would encourage you to participate. To look into it. And from 2018 to 2028, so CompTIA projects an increase of 32% of rise in information security analyst. And once you start in this position, you can slowly, gradually also move to a threat hunter role, which is very exciting. So they would play a key role in identifying threats that constitute almost 10% of the cyber threats that are missed by the Security and Operations Center solutions. So this is a very, very, very exciting role. The next one is about the next role is about digital forensic specialists. Now, these are the people who will enter the picture once a breach has occurred. So they have their trench coat and they'll dig deep into the evidence. Now, the only thing is that there's no blood and guts, it's just digital trails. So, with the number of data breaches which are happening, you might imagine the important role that they will play. So, they will help in investigation and also finding the evidence that can be produced or admissible in the court of law. And what they should know, now they should know at least they should have an in-depth knowledge of popular operating systems, mobile OS. They should be aware of the cyber forensics, the response, the reverse engineering skills, and also, I mean, some computer programming language or scripting language knowledge like Python, Bash, Perl will also help. And then there's this computer hacking forensic investigators, a certification that I would also recommend if you are interested in exploring this role. And where can they work? So they are in demand everywhere. You law enforcement agencies, to district attorneys, to everyone, to even major corporations need such specialists who can investigate a data breach and also help them trace back the real criminals who conducted these crimes. Now, the next interesting one is an anti-malware expert. Now, with the number of increased malwares, especially targeting our endpoint devices, uh, they are the people who are like the surgeons. They dissect and the exploit. They identify the target vulnerability. They use their programming ability to gain an understanding of how an attack can be defended against. So they are amazing. They have to have very strong knowledge of C++, Windows API, Windows OS. Then they should also be able to reconstruct unknown file formats, reconstruct unknown TCP/IP protocols, and also an understanding of unpacking, deobfuscation, anti-debugging. These are certain skills that they would need to have. And what would they do? So these people will actually work with cybersecurity careers, and they'll make an invaluable contribution to protect against and to mitigate cyber threats, especially malwares. And the good part is that this position is also available for a few entry level positions. So if you want to start off in cybersecurity and you have great programming skills and also you love information security domain, this could be an amazing field for you to explore. The next one is security incident responders. Now, once they play a very, very key role because it's like a first responder. Now, each time there is a security incident, somebody has to use their skills, their presence of mind to respond to that incident as quickly as possible. So what they do is they, at the security operations center, they'll use threat intelligence from AI-enabled tools to identify an anomaly and swiftly act upon to prevent it or to mitigate it. And what they should know, so they should also have a solid understanding of programming languages, of operating systems, of various forensic software applications, and also the security, information and event management. So these are the range of skills that are useful in this role, and this is also going to expand a lot in the future. So if you are passionate about being on the go, looking at the threats and then responding it to it as necessary, so this could be a perfect role. And this is going to be one of the 20 most in demand roles for the next decade. And the last digital defender role that I would speak about today is about a data privacy officer. These are the people who are the stewards of data protection, implementation, and data privacy strategy. And they will be charged with facilitating a culture of data protection throughout. So they are the ambassadors of data security. So they'll provide in-house legal advice on privacy, privacy by design, data sharing, and so on. And the good part is that if you have a background of law and you're not a person who's entering cybersecurity through the technical pathway, this also could be an excellent career option for you to explore. And some of the areas that one should know in this role is about data protection. It's about privacy advocacy, cybersecurity, regulatory compliance, and so on. So the appointment of a DPO is mandatory for public authorities and companies processing large amount of special categories of personal data. So that's why this role is also something that is going to be in demand in the future. Now we looked at the different domains of cybersecurity that are emerging, the digital defender roles who have to step into those domains and who have to make a difference by protecting the world, their families and communities against cyber attacks. Now, what's our hope for the future? Let's take a moment to just think about it. Now, cyber threats, they are becoming bigger and better every day. But this also means that the responsibility lies with you. Responsibility lies with me. So it is upon us to save the world. So every little action that you take to make yourself, your community, your organization safer, it counts. So we would love to get in touch with you. So on behalf of the VSIS Oregon affiliate, I would like to thank you for your time today. So you can get in touch with us through our LinkedIn page that I've mentioned here. You can just type VSIS Oregon affiliate to find us. And you can also get in touch via email through the vsisoregon@vsis.org. So we are looking forward to getting in touch with you and to hear your thoughts. Some additional reading that I would recommend is that the World Economic Forum published a very interesting article on COVID-19 pandemic and how it teaches us about cybersecurity and how we can prepare for the inevitable global cyber attack. So I would recommend that to you. And there's also an excellent website called Cybersecurity Career Guide that can guide you on the different career paths in cybersecurity. And I love writing. I love cybersecurity. So I write for a website called Access Cyber. So you can go there and just explore the different gifts that I have for you in different articles. So my objective is to collate and prepare free, easily accessible resources for our digital defenders. So I'm trying to do my best there. Now, I would like to end this presentation on a thoughtful and on a, hopeful note. So what I would like to say is that security is not just an IT thing. It's not information technology. It is a mindset. It's a way of life. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity, and it should be everyone's priority. So, like all the cybersecurity enthusiasts out there, this is my hope for the world, and I'm sure you'll also resonate with it a little bit. So, please stay safe, stay secure, stay curious, stay compassionate, and stay cyber smart. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the VSIS Oregon affiliate, we thank you all for your attention and your time in the VSIS Around the World event. Thank you so much.